Come on. All right, welcome back to Moonlight Customs, everyone. Today we're going to be working on
Stop,
getting the rear Jeep done. You're going to have to start entertaining people, man. So what are you saying? Start making things that people want to watch. Nobody wants to watch this. Fine, I quit. Welcome back to Moonlight Customs, everyone. Today, we're going to be working on this rear bumper. How was that? Did that work for you? Now that's entertaining right there. All right, so now that that's over with, let's get back to the bumper here. I know this is going to be boring to some of you guys, and so I'm going to fast forward through a lot of it. And then I'll probably just post just a video of just assembling the rear bumper itself as its own video. All right, so we're gonna be building this DIY bumper for this 92 Jeep Cherokee today. And it looks pretty complicated. I know it's a pain in the butt. It looks like a pain in the butt to get the rear bumper off. I think I'll probably just wind up cutting it off. If anybody knows anything about the Jeep Cherokees, I don't know why they put the bolts to hold the bumper on where they put them, especially if you have a receiver hitch underneath it. I mean, there's just no way to get to the bolts. So I'll probably wind up cutting it all off, but let's get back to this bumper here. So the instructions on it has pictures. I don't know if you can see that or not. So it says, please read the mounting instructions below carefully before attempting to install. So it has part A. So this is part A. Man, they didn't print these off very well. Can't see the part number on them. Obviously these are part G's, which I'm gonna be honest with you, their instructions are not very good. What do you expect for $100? You would think, I'll let you see, but this is how they put their parts numbers on there. Instead of putting it to the side where you can actually see it, they've overlaid the top of it black on black, and they expect you to be able to read that part number, and they don't have nothing labeled here on any of the metal. So they want you to read the instructions very carefully, but yet they don't make it to where you can read the instructions. Makes sense. All right. And that's the bumper. So these go on here, like so. And that's for your tail lights. To go underneath your tail lights to fill that gap up. So I'm not gonna weld these on yet. The reason for that is because if I have to make any adjustments with them or anything for the lights, easier to do it with the bumper mounted, and then I can just put these on there and see where I want them and then tack them in on the, while it's on the Jeep. And so, but I've got to get this welded up really quick. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. It's going to take me a while to weld it up, so I'll fast forward through everything on that. And then I'll get it all ground down and ready for paint, and then I'll bring you guys back in. All right, so it's been a couple days. I finally got this ground down, all smooth. I'm gonna hold off. What are you doing? Trying to help you out. I don't see how that's nobody wants at all. Nobody wants to watch you. The audience doesn't want to see you out here in short shorts. I want to give your audience something to watch. I'm trying to show these people how to build a bumper, and you're distracting them. Just trying to help a guy out. Okay, back to what I was saying before I got interrupted. Anyway, I got this all ground down smooth, and I was going to paint it, but I got to hold off on the paint because if you remember right, I still have to weld these on, but I don't want to put these on unless they're in the right spot. And so it's going to be easier to get it mocked up on the back of the Jeep and then tack these in and then pull the bumper back off and weld them on there permanently. So we're going to hold off on the paint. I'm not sure if I'm just going to cut the old bumper off or if I'm going to try to remove it. There's some bolts on there that you just can't get to, so we'll see what happens. But that's where we're at next, is removing the rear bumper. Okay, so I went ahead and took the rear bumper off. I wasn't able to record it. I couldn't get the camera in there at the right angles and stuff where you can see anything anyway, but it was kind of a pain. I'll go over what I did though. These bolts right here on these brackets, you can't get to them very well. They bolt up right here. This is where they bolt up at, holds the bumper on. And when the bumper's on there, to get up underneath here and around this lip right here and get your socket and stuff on there, I just couldn't get it on there, and they've been in there forever and they're all rusted. So what I did was I just drilled some holes in the bumper. This bumper is no good anyway. This bumper is garbage anyway. I mean, it's got a dent right there. It's really just a flimsy bumper. So, but now what we got to do is we've got to get the other brackets on there and kind of dry fit that new bumper. So I'm gonna put these on here temporarily, just so I can set that bumper on here. really need to run a tap and die set through these things. All right. So I got those on there. Obviously, I got to finish welding these up. But I got to weld those to the bumper as well. So. It's about as center as it's gonna get right there. Now what I'll do is I'll tack the bumper to the brackets right here, and then I'll pull the bumper off with those brackets, and at the same time I'll put these pieces in on these corners and tack those down. So when I pull it off and then I'll weld it all up, it should go right back on there. Okay, so now that that's all tacked together, I'll pull everything off, take it to the bench, and then weld everything up. And then grind it all smooth, round the edges off, make everything flow together. And then I will wipe it down and get it painted, and then we're ready for final assembly. I'll bring you back when I get it all welded up. Got everything welded up on it. Mounts are all welded up. These little spacers for the tail lights, they're all welded on there and ground smooth and rounded off so it matches the rest of it. I will get it all wiped down, get it painted, and then I'll let it sit overnight and through the rest of the day tomorrow while I'm at work, and I'll come back and start installing it on the Jeep. Okay, so it's the next day. Paint's still kind of tacky. It's been like 28 degrees out here, and I don't have very good heat in my shop. So, but I think if we're careful with it, I think we can get it back onto the Jeep and assembled. So that's what we're doing now. All right. Be nice to have some help around here. Hey, why don't you grab the end of that? This guy. I try to help him out and he doesn't want it. Now he's asking for it. You never know with that guy. All right, so that's gonna do it for the rear bumper, guys. I'll bring you in here, have you look at it. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Obviously this bumper is a lot heavier than the factory bumper, so that's why I wanted it on here. If I hit any rocks or anything, it's not gonna go into the cab and bang up the cab. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to follow along. I'll be working on the fender flares next and putting 33s on it. I was gonna do 35s, but I changed my mind. I want to do 33s. I think it'll fit the Jeep better. So there's still a lot to go on this Jeep. Once I get the fender flares and the 33s on, I still got to do a clear coat, but it's been 28 degrees around here the last couple of days, so I have to let the temperature rise a little bit before I tackle the clear coat. But I will be working on the inside as well, so we'll be doing tires, fender flares, clear coat, and working on the inside. And then we might even take this thing out for a spin and see how it does. And I want to do rocker guards as well, so I don't know, I haven't got any material yet to do the rock sliders, but hopefully by the next video I will. So yeah, if you guys like what you see, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe. It helps me out, helps the channel grow, and helps me give you guys better quality content. Thanks again. Until next time.